Into the ballgame as Paul Mokeski has become kind of a cult hero in Milwaukee, Tommy.
Fred Roberts hits Mokeski at the other end.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of We Got Next. I'm Rickey Hampton with my great friend, the one and only Mr. Paul Mokeski. That's right, the cult hero of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Ho, 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 ho.
Mo is in a Thanksgiving. I know you feel good about your Packers, man. They looked really good yesterday.
Yeah, they looked okay.
On the other side in the AFC, maybe not so much for your Chiefs.
Who? What Chiefs? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are done. The Packers are a little shaky, but their defense is really good.
Yeah, they're good. They're going to be tough. The NFL season's headed down the home stretch mode. Only 4 games left in the regular season. We got the college football playoffs all set up now. Notre Dame is upset because they got left out. So everybody shed a tear for the Fighting Irish. But you know what, Mo? If they did 20 teams, the 21st team was going to be, we should have been in there. Think about it. They do 64 basketball teams and the 65th team. We should have been there. Y'all screwed us.
Well, I mean, Notre Dame should do their own bowl. Why don't they do their own bowl?
Yeah.
Why would you mess with the NCAA? Do your own bowl. You're a worldwide college. What? Just do your own bowl. Invite somebody to come play at your home, and you'll make millions of dollars. Seriously, I mean, it's like,
you know what? That's the best point I heard, because they do their own thing.
Yeah, but why? Years ago, I thought the top football schools in the country should just leave the NCAA and do their own thing, do their own league. You got Ohio State, you got Notre Dame, you got USC, you got Miami, you got, all those top level, you got probably 16 of them, and go do your own thing and get your own TV contract and do your own thing. Why are you worried about the NCAA? Football is different than basketball, although I think basketball is going to change too. March Madness isn't going to be March Madness much longer. I mean, we just had 18 teams here in Vegas, some really top level teams, and they're giving them $1 million NIL money. So who's to say, I don't start my own March Madness, and I guarantee everybody $1 million in NIL, and the winner gets $2 million. And I invite all the best teams, the top 20 teams, and get my own TV contract.
Yeah, you know what, Paul? We are heading to that.
I talked to NBA scouts at that tournament here, and they were all saying this is the future of NCAA basketball. It's heading to this future very quickly.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're I don't know, Marquette, whatever, pick a team. And you can be like the 5th team in the East and play in the NCAA tournament, or you can be the 2nd team in the NIL championship all-world tournament and get $1 million NIL and a possibility of getting another $2 million. Which tournament are you going to play in?
Yeah, the NIL.
Yeah, I mean, you can have your own TV deal. If you get the top teams, ESPN, whatever the NCAA is not on in March Madness, whatever channel they're not on, they would clamor to get a tournament like that and make your own thing.
And back to Notre Dame, they've been independent for years in football. And when I was a kid, I don't know if you remember this, they would show the Notre Dame replays with Lindsey Nelson the day after the game. Do you remember those days?
No, because I was in California watching USC. I wasn't watching Notre Dame.
Okay. It was probably on in California because, Notre Dame, probably the most, for a while, certainly one of the most uh, uh, famous college football teams. They had Lindsey Nelson doing the play-by-play. They would edit the game and show it over a course of an hour and a half. And think about it. Every Catholic kid in the country, that was the place to go to play at Notre Dame.
Yeah. So
not so much now.
Yeah,
Although they still get, obviously, good football players. But I don't think nobody's feeling too sorry for them for not getting into the playoffs.
no, not to go to a bowl game. Is that fair to your seniors that probably stuck it out and played? I don't think so. That's not right. I remember when I was a senior, when I was a junior, we had a really good team. We lost to UCLA in the West Regional. And that was really fun. And then the next year we were supposed to be pretty good and we weren't. So we struggled. I don't know, we had 16 wins, whatever we had. I can't remember, 18, whatever. And we didn't get to the tournament because only 32 teams make the tournament. And we were invited to the NIT, and it was me and one other senior. Everybody else was juniors and sophomores. And they all voted not to go to the NIT because they didn't want to practice anymore. They wanted springtime. And and I remember because that robbed me of moving up in the draft because my last 3 games at Kansas were all between 25 and 30 points. I was coming into my own. And if I could have showcased that in a home game in Lawrence and then gone to Madison Square Garden and played like that, I would have been a first rounder.
Yeah.
And it wasn't fair to me and the other senior. And it's the same with Notre Dame football. Why are you not going to a bowl game? Because you're going to get invited to a good bowl game because you draw. You're
Notre Dame, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think that's fair to the players, especially the seniors, and it's crazy. But that's the way. Like, you remember years ago, Jimmy Jones or not Jimmy Jones. Yeah. Who's the owner of the Cowboys?
Jerry Jones.
Yeah. So, Jerry Jones broke away from the NFL. He did his own marketing deal with drinks and uniforms. He said, I'm not doing my own thing. I make more money. He broke away.
Yeah. I remember that. And we're heading towards that with college athletics, man. And it's an entirely different world. I miss the innocence. I mean, it was always business to a certain extent, but now it's just like Mo. You said it best. You said it's free agency every year. This is worse than pro sport because it's free agency every year.
For every player.
For everybody.
Yeah, every player is a free agent every year. I mean, just imagine that in the NFL or Major League Baseball or hockey or for sure NBA. I mean, okay, this spring after the season, everybody's free agent. Luka, you're a free agent. Curry, you're a free agent. Maxey, you're a free agent. Everybody's a free agent. You go wherever you want. Make as much as you want.
Hey, Mo, as a player, 12 years in the league, came in the 70s. You played in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. What are you most proud of in terms of the growth of the league during your era and where it is now?
Well, I came in 79. The league was struggling. It was close to folding. They had no TV deal. They had no merchandise deal. They didn't have anything, and games were on tape delay. Playoff games were on tape delay. It was falling apart. It was close to folding, and between David Stern and then Larry Bird and Magic Johnson that came in 79 with me, they rejuvenated the league. and they made it cool to watch. And Magic got excitement in LA, and Bird got excitement in Boston. So you had East-West rivalry. And then Michael Jordan came around about 5 years later and just took that up to the next level and to where it is now. And the 80s were the growth of the league. And you had the bad boy Pistons and, the growth of the league. But it was in 78, 79, when I was drafted, it was close to folding.
Yeah, I remember that.
And was it more physical? Were there more fights? Yeah, but it wasn't. It was even more crazy in the mid 70s. There are fights you see people, players picking up chairs, and it was crazy when I played in the 80s. But it was, but with David Stern's leadership and Magic and Bird and other players, Sidney Moncrief in Milwaukee, and then stars came in, but that was the start, and MJ just took it to the next level. But that was like 4 or 5 years later in the mid 80s when he came in.
Hey, our friend Steve Schroeder checked in. I know Steve is happy about his Packers. And he asked, you think the WNBA will go on strike?
If they go on strike, they might as well fold. I mean, what are you going on strike for? I mean, there's the unrivaled league that's come in, and they play when the WNBA doesn't play. And now they have this new B League. I don't know why it's called the B League. I don't know, but they're supposedly offering players $2 million to play. And they're set up and doing like tournaments around the world. They'll have a tournament in the United States, they'll have a tournament in Spain, and the players get paid big money. I don't know if that's for sure or not, but supposedly they have 300 million in investment money. And the WNBA has lost money for 20 plus years. And, it's going in the right direction. They have it going in the right direction. There's more interest. There's more fan support. There's more TV money. They are where we were, 40 years ago. That's where they are. 50 years ago, the highest players in the NBA when I came in made $500,000 a year, but that's for 8 months. The best players in the WNBA make $220,000, but it's a 3-month season, so that's about $500,000, right? And they got it going in the right direction, and now they've got off track with saying pay us what you owe us, and nobody owes you anything. I mean, should you be paid more? Yeah, for sure. But you're getting off track. I just read the other day that one of the biggest sticking points in the collective bargaining agreement negotiations is free housing. So, when you go play over in Europe, if you're a male or female, you go play over to Europe, they give you free housing, some free food, a free vehicle. That's just part of the deal. And the WNBA so far has been following that model. So players in the WNBA get free housing. What that means is every player gets a 1-bedroom apartment provided for them, or they can take a stipend check of between $1,500 and $2,000 a month and go wherever they want to go. So let's picture in Las Vegas. So I'm going to take my stipend, and that's $2,000, and I'm going to go to an Airbnb for $3,000 a month and have a really nice house with a pool, and that's what I'm going to do. But they're fighting over this to keep this. The ownership don't want to keep it, and the players are like demanding they want to do it. But let's look at the overall picture, right? So you're going to lose, let's say $2,000 a month for your stipend for housing. In a 3-month season, let's make it 4. That's $8,000. Why are you arguing over $8,000 for a season? It makes no sense to me,
And Mo, to your point, I'm looking at an article from Sports Pro magazine, which tracks the financials of professional sports. In 24, despite record viewership, the league lost $40 million. The WNBA.
Part of that is half of that is they lost $20 million because a couple of years ago, the players demanded better travel because, they traveled like we traveled. We traveled, in regular airplanes, and we went through the baggage claim, and we went through the airports, and we got delays when we had layovers, and that's what was happening to them. But they demanded, first class travel, so they got private jets, like the NBA. They got private jets. But guess what that cost? $20 million a year. That's what it costs for the league to provide that. So, which I'm not taking away from that, but you gotta understand, and here's the scary part for owners, right? When you talk about revenue share, right, you're not talking about profit share. So the NBA's revenue share almost equals their profit share because they're making money. They got $1 billion TV deal. In the WNBA, your revenue share has really gone up now. You just said what the numbers were, right? They're huge, but your profit share is not going up.
Right.
So guess who pays for that? The owners. And I mean, I'm sorry, but if your base salary last year was, your main salary last year was $66,000 for 3 months. That's a little over $10,000 a month. They're offering you $225,000 for your minimum salary for 3 months. Then they're offering $1 million. Your highest paid players in the WNBA last year, salary wise, made $225,000 for 3 months. They're bumping that up to $1 million for your highest paid players. That's over 3 months. That's like $170,000 a month. So, or more. So, you got to take.
And they play 44 games, regular season games.
Yeah, 3 months plus playoffs. So you gotta understand there's give and take, and you can't, so you did better in a TV deal and you did better in attendance, so you're going to demand NBA money now? You think you can pay your players $40 million a year, $50 million a year? There's a reason that the NBA is paying that, because owners are making money, lots of money. So I just think their leadership is not, and their messaging is very bad. That "pay us what you owe us" message on those shirts was horrible. If I'm the marketing person for the Players Association, what I'm putting on a T-shirt is "pay us what we're earning." That's what I would say, not what you owe us. That's bad marketing. So we'll see how this goes, but it's interesting because that B League we talked about, whatever that's called, supposedly already signed the president of the Players Association in the WNBA to a $2 million contract. She left. So who's negotiating? I don't know.
Well, that's our WNBA moment for the night. And I hope they are able to work it out, because the league has come a long way. They're making great progress. The level of players has just gotten better and better in recent years. Some really outstanding players in the WNBA today.
Yeah, knowing our situation and the situation of our whole country, my concern if I'm a WNBA player is my insurance. I would negotiate. I'd like my insurance paid for the whole year, as long as I'm on a roster, because that's very expensive and is getting worse. That's what I would be concerned about, not free housing for 3 months.
Right. Hey, we actually did a special 30, 45-minute show the other night, Mo, with the news of Giannis demanding a trade, not demanding a trade. The reports that Giannis is looking to be traded from Milwaukee. The funny thing, the news broke the other day, but we talked about it 2 or 3 weeks ago on this show. Let's go back and touch on that a little bit, Mo. Guys playing great basketball, 2-time MVP. But reading stories before I came on the show, the trade market isn't what you would think it would be for them. Because they know something's going on. Of course, you're going to try to lowball him. But where are you with this whole thing with Giannis right now?
Well, I don't think his trade value has gone down at all as far as being a player. I mean, he's still an impactful player, one of the best players in the league, but the guy makes $57 million. And he's going to make over $217 million over the next 4 years.
Hey.
Financial, as well as to make that trade work, you have to come up with, $50 million on your side to make that deal. How many players is that? What players is that? Because you can only throw in X amount of draft picks. They're only worth 150 or 200 grand each, or 500, whatever. So you got to make up. You have to send Milwaukee $50 million worth of value at least. So, that's a stumbling block. So, if I'm Team X and I want Giannis and he will help us win a championship, yes, I want him. But not if I have to give up my starting point guard, my starting power forward, my backup wing, and then 3 first-round picks. Because I'm not winning the championship anyway anymore. I lost all those guys.
Steve makes a good point. He says OKC can offer Giannis, with all the draft picks they have, they can offer more than the Knicks.
Yeah, but draft picks, like I just said, first of all, they're not as valuable. Second of all, they're only worth X amount in a trade. So if they're worth 500 grand, you have to come up with 30 draft picks. You don't have. They have a lot. They don't have to. They have Oklahoma City. They have 17 first-round draft picks over the next 5 years. That's what they have.
That is. Absolutely.
So, and they also have somebody's draft pick. I'm not sure who. So they have
the Clippers. They have the Clippers unprotected pick this year.
They have 27% chance of getting the first pick in the draft. That's what they have, as well as anybody. So my point to Steve is, why the hell, if I'm OKC, would I even think about Giannis? I'm 22-1. I won a championship last year. I probably get a shot at I get a top 5 pick in the draft this year, which is a good draft. And why would I give away most of my draft picks, probably 2 of my rotation guys, and hope that Giannis can do what? Win us a championship? They already did. That's not happening. Sorry. And guess what? The Milwaukee Bucks, after winning the championship in 2021, have now been lost out of the first round of the NBA playoffs in the last 4 years in a row. Yes. So what does Giannis do for you? 1 year he was hurt. Okay, whatever. You can't get out of the first round. I mean, and we've had this discussion, Ricky. Giannis is a great player, plays hard, blocks shots, plays defense and can score around the rim, finish on anybody, but he's a horrible 3-point shooter. He's a below average free throw shooter. He's a below average ball handler and an average passer.
Yeah.
For $57 million.
Giannis, AD, and Zion. Who would you choose? Oh, I definitely have Giannis over.
Yeah, for sure, because they're hurt. They're all hurt.
Yeah.
AD is hurt, Zion. Yeah, of course. And it depends on who my team is, though. If I'm OKC, I don't want any of those guys.
Right.
That's what I got.
And on top of all that, Mo, it's not the 5 best players. It's the 5 who play best together. See, I listened to you, Mo.
Somebody should. I mean, because I hear people saying Golden State should get him, right? Okay, let's picture that. So you give up Draymond Green, probably Kuminga, a couple draft picks, maybe Podziemski, the point guard, and now you get Giannis, and he's getting a rebound, and he's traveling down the floor. He's going to go dunk it, and there's Steph Curry in the corner going, "Here I am, I'm open, pass me the ball." I mean, come on, man.
Well, you're right, brother. No player is worth gutting your team over.
No, it makes no sense. If you want to win, the only way to gut your team to get a great player is if they're a young player and you can build around them over the next 3 or 4 years. I mean, let's say if I'm I don't know. There's so many, the Nets or Washington, even the Clippers. If I was the Clippers, I would give up Kawhi, and you can have Harden if you want. Take him, and you can have some draft picks. Give me Wemby. Give me Wembyama. I'll do that. I'll gut my team to do that. But if you have a good team, you're absolutely right. Why would you gut your team if you're Denver, OKC, even Boston, who's playing well, and Tatum's going to be back next year? It doesn't make any sense. I'm a guy, and I've said this before. In the NBA, there are certain GMs in teams and owners of teams and presidents of teams that their ego is, I want to get over on this trade. I want to look the best of that trade. So I want to screw you, Ricky. I want to make you look terrible so I can look good that I made a great deal. I'm not that guy. I'm like, let's figure out a win-win for both of us, Ricky.
Yeah.
Say if you need a veteran guy to help you get the top spot in the playoffs, and you got some young talent that you're willing to pass on to me that'll help me build my team in the future, let's do that. I'm a win-win guy. But the fact is, most NBA GMs are not win-win guys.
And this is very true. Steve's talking about the Pistons rumor for Giannis. There have been reports in the paper. Yeah, I tell you what, I like Tobias. He's a good player. I'd be happy to trade him straight up for Giannis, Steve.
Yeah, that's not happening. It doesn't even happen. It doesn't happen financially. I mean,
but you know what? To your point, and the Pistons are tier below OKC, just like everybody else is. Maybe 2 tiers being in the East. But I don't even know if some of the good young talent they have that I would want to give that up for Giannis.
It still doesn't work, right? I'm looking it up because the Pistons are 27th in team salary. They're one of the lowest team salary. That's good, by the way. When you want to get some free agents coming down the road, that can help you with Cunningham and some other guys. But Tobias Harris makes $26 million, and he's a free agent next year. So you have to give him and Duncan Robinson and LeVert and Thompson. There you go. Give all those guys for Giannis. Would you do that?
I got to give up Asor?
Yes. Yeah. That's the only way it works. And if I'm the Bucks, I'm not doing that.
I think I'd go for that. I do. I love Asor Thompson, but I would go for that.
So you would trade Duncan Robinson, Tobias Harris, Thompson, and 3 or 4 first-round picks.
I wouldn't want to give up a lot of first-round picks, but yeah.
So who's your starters then? You got Giannis, you got Cunningham.
We're deep.
Who else you got?
We go Giannis, Marcus Sasser, who just coming back from injury. I'd play. We wouldn't be a great shooting team. We're not a great shooting team now, but I would go with Ron Holland, who's coming into his own. And Mo, you told me about
he can't shoot at all, man.
He can't shoot. But Mo, what you told me about him is coming into fruition. This guy plays 100 freaking miles an hour.
So he's going to be your starter.
Yes, he would be a starter.
Okay.
We would be very good. He's as good.
How high do you rank him in starters in the NBA? What that team could
he would be a guy to average 12, 13 points a game, but would be a monster defensively.
Okay. Who else? That's 4.
In fact, Mo, and to everybody out there, he's had steals in the last 18 straight games, I believe. He's had a steal.
So you need another starter. Who's that?
Okay, so my guards would be K would be the point. I put Sasser at 2. He's playing out of place. I bring Beastu in at the power forward. Let Giannis play the center position, but it's really not a center position.
Yeah, but he won't. He'll say, "I don't want to play that." Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and then right. Well, you could put Stu at center, and Giannis is going to be roaming. You know what? The team
That's
may
4.
not be a good fit.
Who else? Who you have coming off the bench then? None of
Uh,
those guys can come off the bench now.
well, I'll
You
sign
got,
a I'll
you
sign
got,
a 10-day contract and let them check me out.
yeah, you got. So my point is, weren't you first place in the East about a week ago? Weren't you
Yeah.
there? So you're going to give up 3 of your main rotation players and draft picks and hope that Giannis fits in and hope that Holiday becomes a player you think he is and hope that and hope that this happens. Not a good move. You get fired next year, Ricky. So
Yeah, you know what? When you asked me to put that team together, I'm like, okay, we're trying to fit a lot of things into a square peg here.
yeah, that's the part of an NBA trade that people. This isn't fantasy league. You have to match salaries. You have to match personalities. You got to have in today's NBA. You have to be 9 or 10 deep to win a championship. Just ask OKC. Just see what Denver did over the summer with adding a real legit center and another wing to their roster. And you can't, be like, okay, we have 4 starters and hopefully this Colin guy can be our 5th, and off the bench we got some D-League guys, G-League guys.
Yeah,
You're not going
I
to
get your point. Hey, Mo, this is a good one from Steve. Why be unhappy when you make it $57 million?
I don't know. That's John Morant. He's not happy.
But Mo, and I think pro athletes kind of get a bad rap on this too. Yeah, you guys made a lot of money. All relative to the years you were in there. But it's still a business, and you still have to fight for certain rights, and because they're paying you $57 million or whatever, doesn't mean you can doesn't mean you can't have criticism, right?
Why is coaching now called criticism? Why, if I tell you need a better shot selection, is that criticism? That's coaching, but that's the way it is today. Coaching became criticism. And I'll tell people out there the difference. Ricky, your shot is crap and you can't shoot. Stop shooting. That's criticism. Coaching is, Ricky, your shot's not where it needs to be. We need to work on that in practice, but we need to kind of tame down your 3-point shots during the game. That's coaching, but now that's supposedly criticism.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you brought this up, Mo, because I want to play that.
Fucking play harder. Get the fucking stage. We didn't win Taylor Williams.
You're going to get us kicked off Facebook, man.
I'm tired of fucking doing this every game. Fucking play harder. Get the fucking stage. We didn't win Taylor Williams.
So you're going to get us kicked off Facebook.
Yeah, that's Coach Nick Hardy. His team got blasted by OKC by 31 the other night. And it's not that they lost to OKC. He was obviously not happy with the effort. It's one thing to lose to a superior team. It's another thing to lay down. Help us understand what we were seeing there, Mo.
That didn't happen that night. That's not what that's about. OKC is the best team in the league, and they kicked our ass. Okay. That was about the whole season. If we hear the first part of that, he said, I'm tired of telling you guys over and over again that you need to be accountable and responsible for your actions, and you got to frickin' play harder. That's been happening all season. So that's, and the greatest coaches in the world that, John Wooden or Riley or whoever you want to say, Phil Jackson, whoever, they all will tell you, I cannot coach effort. I cannot coach effort. That's impossible. And that's why coaches all the time say, listen, I'd rather have you play super hard and have me to rein you in a little bit than have me have to push you all the time to play harder. Ricky, play harder, play harder. That's frustrating and it's impossible. So that's what that's all about.
So you have no problem with that?
What's that?
You had no problem with what he was saying?
I don't have a problem with what he was saying. I have a problem with where he was saying it. He should have waited till he got in the locker room to say that. That's what I used to do as a coach. I'm not going to embarrass you when we're playing with 20,000 people watching, but I'm going to get on you in the locker room. And then guess what? You can yell back at me and say stuff, but I'm telling you, if you're not playing hard, I got a problem and I'm not going to play you anymore. But I don't have a problem with what he was saying. I have a problem with where he said it.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with the way he said it.
Okay. Okay. See, folks, this is why I love talking to Mo. He's been there. That's not the first time you heard a coach go off like that.
Oh, I mean, and people are like, oh, look, wow, look what he said. He's been probably saying that for 2 months now. So, am I criticizing you or demanding you to play hard? Oh, I'm sorry. I want you to play hard. Isn't that the deal? It's not part of the deal anymore, Ricky. When you do evaluation of players, it used to be, shooting, dribbling, passing, maybe even basketball IQ. But now he has a high motor. He plays hard.
Yeah.
Shouldn't everybody have a high motor? Shouldn't everybody play hard? But that's not true anymore.
Yeah. And that's what he said at the beginning of it. I've been telling you this all season. I'm tired of telling you this.
Yeah, I mean, and he was also talking about accountability. That was from weak side help. People weren't coming over to help their teammates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoever's listening out there, who thinks that was coaching and who thinks that was criticizing?
Miles Turner. Been a disappointment with the Bucks. You see him getting traded, Mo?
If I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, I will trade anybody if I help my team get better. Absolutely. No question. Why? I mean, he really hurt them when he played for Indiana, and he's a good player. He blocks shots, he rebounds, he's athletic, he shoots threes, but he's having his worst season ever. He's averaging like 12 points and 4 rebounds. And I think you're paying him 20, 30 million, whatever. You need to be an 18 and 10 guy. And he should be with the way, how the talent he has. But sure, I'll trade Oscar Robertson right now if we need to. I will not trade Paul Mokeski because he plays hard all the time.
Hey, Mo, let's talk a little bit about the NBA Cup. We got a game starting this week, and which will culminate this weekend. And we have the semifinals will be this weekend, this Saturday in Vegas. Out of the East, we're going to have the Magic and the Heat, and the Raptors and the Knicks. And over in the West, we got Phoenix and OKC, and the Lakers and San Antonio. Last year turned out to be it was a fun deal, man, having the tournament. And it seems like teams are even more into it this year.
Yeah, it's a good time. You get to come to Vegas and chill, and maybe every player wins $500,000. That's not too bad, right? You take that. But I think it's really interesting, and it's too bad that the Florida game is not going to be great because Wagner went down. But that would have been interesting to see Miami Heat play Orlando. That's Florida, right? That's awesome. And then you got Toronto, who's been up to the top of the East along with the Knicks. They play each other. And then you got OKC, the returning champs, and then the Suns, who think they're going to compete with them. And then the really interesting game is the Lakers and San Antonio. It's a big question of whether Wembanyama is going to play or not, or rest to come back for the tournament. But I think he wants to play in LA to get to Vegas. And, but that's going to be a hard uphill battle, because I know one thing: the league wants the Lakers to be here in Vegas because they sell out the arena when the Lakers play here.
Absolutely. Speaking of the Lakers, Mo, I saw I watched the Lakers in Philly last night. It was last night, and it was coming off LeBron James only scoring 8 points the other night. played bad, shot bad, 4-17. But in the final seconds, he passed up a chance to score a bucket to get to 10 points and hit Hachimura for the game-winning shot with a nice pass. Last night, he looked like he was 31, not 41, which he's about to turn. He had 29 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and led the team because Luka and Rivas struggled. And the guy that looked 41, Mo, was Joel Embiid of the Sixers. I mean, it was really kind of, he's laboring getting up and down the court. It was kind of sad to see. Hopefully he's just trying to work his way back into shape. But I don't know how much he can do that if he doesn't play every night.
Oh, guess what? He can't practice either. So he's not practicing either. So the only way you can condition is probably in the underwater treadmill or on the bike or the zero gravity treadmill, because he can't put any more wear and tear on his back, his knees, his everything. So it's hard to get back in shape if you can't push yourself physically, right? And you're planning on playing against the best players in the world, and hopefully you work yourself into shape. That's a tough way to go. And it's unfortunate he's been banged up, and it's really.
He was 4 of 21 from the field.
Yeah, he has no legs probably, so your shot's going to stay going, and he can't get to the basket anymore because he can't move anymore. So now, if I'm guarding him, I don't have to worry about him driving by me. I can just be up on him and make him take contested shots. So it all follows in in succession, and it's too bad. Philly had a chance if he was healthy to maybe do something in the East, but going along like this, because Maxey is a super player. He's the East Coast version of
Shea?
No, Shea.
Shea?
OKC.
Shea
Yeah.
Alexander?
Yeah, he shoots as good as him. Gets to the rim as good as him. Passes as good as him. Mid range as good as him. Yeah, Maxey is right up there with SGA for sure. But
and Paul, another one you hit on the head, man. Ayton going to the Lakers. He was 7 of 7 from the floor last night. All he did was catch lobs and dunk them. He had LeBron and Luka just throwing him lobs. Embiid couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah, and that's all he has to do: run the floor, rim run, finish around the basket, block shots, pick and roll, dunk it, and create space and be a big body. And they got a great chance. And they also added Marcus Smart to that roster, who's a tough-nosed defensive guy that adds attitude to that team. And Luka, Reeves, Hachimura, and LeBron all love that because he adds that toughness. He's like the Dylan Brooks of the Lakers, kind of gets under your skin, takes charges and flops, and, the guy you hate but you love on your team. So, if Ayton will accept this role for a long period of time, they got a chance to be competitive in the West. They're not as good as OKC. They're not as good as Denver, but they're not far off.
Yeah, and then you get in the series, and hey, as you say, tell me who's healthy, right? When that time comes around, we got a long ways before that.
But also, I remember early in his career, in the middle of his career, remember Charles Barkley and guys, getting on LeBron for not taking the last shot, and even though he was double or triple teamed, you're the best player, you got to take the shot. And no, LeBron's making the right play at the right time, and that's exactly what he did. He was struggling too. He was like 4 for 17.
4 for 17, yeah.
So, I'm going to the basket for a game winner. I'm going to kick it out to Hachimura, who was probably 6 for 10, and we're going to win the game. Thank you very much. And, my double figure scoring record is gone out the window, but we won the game. Isn't that what we're playing for?
That's what he said after we won.
We won the game.
We won. Yeah, the Lakers are a much improved team this year, watching them. But man, okay, see, 22-1, Mo. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I mean, they have a chance. I think.
I'm sorry, 23-1 because they won. As Nick Hardy would tell you, they won the other night.
I mean, so you look at. I think the Warriors had 73 wins one season, and they didn't win the championship.
Yeah.
But they had all the pieces, right? And then
Yeah.
the Bulls of 95, 96, they were 72-10. People don't have any idea how hard that is. That's over 8 months of travel and banging and physical. And, it's really hard to do that. But when you look at OKC compared to that Bulls team, and they won the championship, by the way, they had MJ, of course, Pippen, Rodman, Kukoc, Ron Harper, James Edwards, Steve Kerr, Bill Weddington, John Sally, Buechler, and you know who their center was? Luke Longley,
Yeah.
who was just like Bill Cartwright and played the triangle, passed, absorbed space, blocked shots, rebounded, scored when he was around the basket, and didn't try to do too much. And so let's look at OKC. SGA, Jay Williams, Dort, Holmgren, Caruso, Walker, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, and some other guy who plays center and rebounds and blocks shots and just does what he's supposed to do. Some guy named Hartenstein.
Yeah.
He's like the Luke Longley of OKC.
Yeah. Yeah. Mo, I don't think I've ever asked you this question. In your time in the NBA, what was the best team? And you played against some great teams with those Bucks teams because you guys were a great team. What was the best team you played against? And during your years coaching and scouting, what was the best team you saw?
Well, the best team I think we played against, I think, was the 85 or 86 Celtics. I mean, you have Bird, McHale, Parrish, Danny Ainge, Dennis Johnson. I can't remember some of the other guys on that team, but that's 5 Hall of Famers or whatever. And then Bill Walton off the bench.
Another Hall of Famer.
Yeah. So, I think, the Lakers back then were really good, but we only played them twice a year. And really, we usually split with them. And the year that we went to the Game 7 in Boston Garden in the East Finals, we had beat the Lakers twice that year. So, the Lakers were a great team. But that Celtic team where they have Bill Walton off the bench and those Hall of Famer.
But you guys knocked the Celtics out one year.
The year before that.
And then lost to Philly. That was essentially the same team.
We swept them. We swept Boston the first year, but McHale was really hurt, and they didn't have Bill Walton.
Okay.
The year before, and we swept them, which pissed Bird off. So he came back and wanted to kick our butts.
Marcus, I love guys that make the right play, especially at the right time. I mean, I think that's referencing what we were talking about LeBron. That's the way he's always played, Mo.
Yeah.
To me, even though he's the leading scorer of all time, he was mostly a pass first guy.
He was like Marcus just said, make the right play at the right time, and he caught a lot of crap for it early in his career of passing up shots, and he's taken a ton of shots, last second shots, made some, missed some, but he's not afraid of that. But he's not afraid to pass either, and I don't think he cares what other people say.
Nah,
he makes the right play. I mean, when your best player makes the right play, you got a chance. When I was in Dallas coaching, and we had Dirk Nowitzki, Mike Finley, and Steve Nash on the same team, they were the 3 best players on the team, but they were willing to make the right play at the right time, no matter who it was. And that means something.
Marcus, OKC will have a rough night here and there. Health is always a factor. Yep.
Yeah, but the other thing is they're built for that, though. They've already absorbed that. Hartenstein's been hurt. Caruso's been hurt. They just got Jay Will back, who hasn't played for a month and a half, and they were 21 without him. So they built that. That's why you need to be deep, because you're built for someone's going to be hurt, someone's going to be sick, and someone's going to be out, you have to be built to be able to absorb that. OKC is built for that.
Yeah. Eagles, Chargers. Sorry, more about the Chiefs. Yeah, Steve, we talked about that at the
Who?
beginning.
I don't even know who the Chiefs are, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a Packer guy.
But that's that's the nature of sports. You're not going to win all the freaking time. It wouldn't be nobody would tune in.
Here's the other thing, Ricky. It's about momentum, right? You've been around sports your whole life. Sometimes things go right, sometimes things go wrong, and they seem to go right all at once or wrong all at once. Last year, the Chiefs won 5 or 6 games on last second touchdown. Someone stepped out of bounds in the back of the end zone. It wasn't counted. They blocked a field goal to win the game. They did that 5 or 6 times this year. Those games they're losing, and they couldn't make catches last night, and that's been happening all season. So this is the year where all that, we used to say, when a ball goes in and out and you lose a game, well, that's the basketball gods, and it'll even it out later on. You do that in golf, right? The golf gods. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you hit the tree and it comes back in the fairway. Sometimes it goes into the water.
Absolutely.
So you hope they all even out at some time, and I think this is payback for the Chiefs winning all those games last year.
Mo, we just got a couple more minutes. But the Los Angeles Clippers are 6-18. They don't have their first round pick this year. As we talked about the other day, they got a bunch of old guys. They got some guys who can still play. When Kawhi Leonard plays, he typically plays well. What do they do, Mo?
Well, the Clippers do Clipper things, right? They've always done that. So a bomber who's a bazillionaire goes out and gets all these guys, pays Harden, he pays Kawhi, he gets Beal, who's hurt now. He brings in Lopez to back up Zubac. He brings in Chris Paul to hopefully be a leader on that team, and he turned out not to be the leader that they wanted. And they bring in, like Dunn and Bantam, who are older guys. Bogdanovich, I think he got hurt too. So everything, Clippers are doing Clipper things. And if I'm Bomber and I'm spending all this money on all these players, he's one of the highest salaries in the whole league, and I'm not getting anything. I haven't got anything for the last 3 years. I'm doing a garage sale, man. You want Harden? Make me an offer. You want Kawhi? Make me an offer. I'll keep Zubac. If I'm Golden State, I'm making that call. Hey, Brook Lopez isn't even playing for you anymore. Can we get him for a second rounder? I mean, come on, he can help you. But everyone's just like in Milwaukee. Everybody's on the block for me. I mean, they're not winning. They haven't won, and it's just not working. And
the Clippers need to get some draft picks. They don't even have one. So maybe you could get something for Leonard.
Yeah, I mean, he's been for sale before. I mean, the problem is with those guys, especially with Kawhi, if you're going to make a trade, you're probably going to have to absorb some of his contract, like $20 million of it. But hey, that's the price you pay, I guess. But you got to do something. It's like the Bucks. Why are you going to sit there with Giannis and you haven't got out of the first round for the last 4 years?
Yeah.
And you made all these changes. You brought in Lillard. You did this, you did that, and nothing's working. So guess what? Sometimes it's the main guy that's got to go.
Marcus, Luka should be taking notes. I think he's talking about making the right play. I kind of get that, Marcus, but this guy is an incredible shot maker, Mo. He takes some bad shots that are like, damn, and they go in.
Yeah, there's bad shot makers, and at the same time, you got a player like that, and as a coach, you got to let him take shots. I mean, you can't, you put Paul Mokeski in and he takes bad shots, you just take him back out. You can't do that with Luka. I mean, I would say
I'm open over here, Mo. I'm open.
Anybody that wants to see what Luka was before, go look at the World Cup games when he was 16, 17, and 18 years old, got MVP of the World Cup as a teenager as a point guard. Go watch that and watch he takes bad shots, but he makes unbelievable passes too.
Yeah.
He makes hook passes to the corner. He makes wraparound passes. He throws lobs. I mean, with a player like that, you're going to absorb some of the bad shots.
Mo, that's what I saw watching that game last night with Ayton. Luka caught him a couple of times. LeBron caught him a couple of times. He's right there. He just dunked the ball in.
Yeah.
I mean, you got two extraordinary passes. Just run, man.
I mean, I wonder, this would be great. And I can't think you could do it. I would do it as a staff, probably by myself on the airplane. I would take that last play of LeBron scoring 8 points and then passing out to Hachimura for a game winner. And I would play that for Luke and say, would you make this, Pat? Or would you take a floater?
Yeah, he will turn it over sometimes. But again, Mark, I think you got to live with some of that with him.
Yeah, Mark, I mean, I was in Dallas with Dirk Nowitzki. He played at least defense of anybody I've ever met. And we had to live up to it because that's the type of player it was. But our thing was, and I think Luka was earlier in the season he was giving more effort.
He had 14 rebounds last night.
Yeah, but rebounds isn't defense. Rebounds is rebounds. But playing defense and guarding your man, he was doing that early. I think he slacked off lately. We did that with Dirk in Dallas. That's how we got to the finals in Miami. And I told him, because I was a defensive grader on that team and wrote reports all the time. I said, Dirk, listen, we don't need to make you the best defensive player in the league. We need to make you an average defender, just average. And you've never been average as a scorer, a basketball player, a tennis player, played the saxophone, did all this other stuff, and you were never settled for average. So why do you want to settle for average as being a defensive player? And he stepped up for a while, but it's a little give and take there, especially when they have so much offensive responsibility, energy,
Hey, Mo, real quick before we go, we just got a couple of minutes. What made Dennis Rodman such a valuable player?
Because he knew his role and accepted his role. Dennis Rodman would be in the middle of the lane with the basketball and pass it out to, somebody else, whether it was Joe Dumars or Steve Kerr with the Bulls or whatever. He's not going to take a bad shot, and he's going to rebound. He's going to play defense. He's going to play hard, and he's going to frustrate other players, get in their minds, piss them off like Karl Malone or someone like that. And you need it. That's why the Lakers love Marcus Smart. He's that guy too. Dylan Brooks in Houston, he's that guy. And Bill Laimbeer was that guy. So, that's why, when you accept your role and know what you are and don't try to step out of that. So if Dennis Rodman starts shooting threes and dribbling between his back and trying to be a creator, hey, Dennis, go to some other team.
Yeah. Good stuff. Mo, I tell you, brother, it is always a blast talking hoops with you. We get to do this every week, man.
Christmas is coming, man. What'd you get me?
Huh? Christmas is coming?
Yeah, what'd you get me? I've been a good boy.
You won't get any texts this year, Mo.
I don't get any texts.
I'll think of something for you, brother. But I want to give our viewers out there standing though. We appreciate you guys. And Mo, I got to give you one, brother, because you are the best, man. Your insight on the game is off the charts. So we get to talk about it every week. I love your take on Nick Hardy. And it wasn't getting beat by OKC, because everybody's going to get beat by OKC.
It wasn't that much. It was the buildup of everything for the whole season. You could tell. And he said it. I'm tired of telling you every day to play hard. I'm tired. I can't do that. And you can. If you're begging your players to play hard, you got a big problem.
Yeah. But we're going to leave it at that. We got Monday Night Football coming up. Everybody enjoyed that. Enjoy the Cup games this week. And we'll see you Monday. And we'll get to preview the championship game, which will be next Tuesday, Mo. So until then, for Paul Mokeski, I'm Rick Hampton. Good night, everybody.
Merry Christmas coming.
Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
No, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.